Imagine this: you're driving home after a long day, minding your own business, when flashing blue and red lights appear in your rearview mirror. A police officer pulls you over. You're calm at first, but something about his tone, the way he looks at you, makes you uneasy. The questions he asks don't feel routine. The way he stares at you, like he's already decided you're guilty of something, sends a chill down your spine. That's exactly what happened to ***, a well-dressed black woman, driving a nice car, doing absolutely nothing wrong, yet treated like a suspect the moment she rolled down her window. The officer, a man who's done this kind of thing before, sees only what he wants to see. He doesn't ask her name at first. Instead, he demands answers, his voice sharp, his authority dripping with something more than just duty. She stays calm, answering his questions, but something in her eyes tells us she's been here before. She knows exactly what's happening. But this cop has no idea who he just pulled over. He assumes she's just another person he can intimidate, another driver he can push around. What happens next will shake him to his core. As he reaches for his handcuffs, confident in his power, she finally speaks up. A few words that change everything. Suddenly, the officer's face shifts. His confidence wavers. His grip on control starts to slip. Because this isn't just any woman. She's someone who can change his life forever. And the moment he realizes it, the situation takes a turn he never saw coming. Stay with me, because this story is about to get real. The officer's grip tightens on his cuffs, but something in the woman's voice makes him hesitate. She doesn't beg, doesn't plead, just states a fact, clear and direct. I'm a state senator. For a split second, silence fills the space between them. The officer blinks, processing what he just heard. Then, as if trying to regain control, he scoffs. Oh yeah. His voice is laced with doubt, but there's a flicker of uncertainty behind his eyes. She doesn't flinch. Her hands remain steady on the wheel, her expression unreadable. She's been through worse. She knows exactly how this works, how quickly things can escalate, how a routine stop can turn into something far more dangerous if she's not careful. The officer glances at her car again, then at her face, searching for something to confirm or deny her words. His training tells him to run her license, check the records, but his pride, his gut reaction, isn't to verify. It's to assume she's lying. Step out of the vehicle, he orders, his voice a little sharper now. He wants to stay in control. He needs to. The woman takes a breath, slow and measured. Are you sure you want to do this? She asks, her tone calm but firm. Her question lingers in the air, challenging him in a way he's not used to. She isn't shouting, isn't resisting, but she's also not afraid, and that unsettles him more than anything. Other cars pass by, headlights flashing through the dark. A few drivers glance over, sensing the tension but driving on. No one stops, no one intervenes. It's just the two of them, standing at a crossroads neither of them expected. The officer grips his radio, his pulse quickening. He's about to make a decision that could change everything, and he has no idea what's coming next. The officer's fingers tighten around his radio, his thumb hovering over the button. He could call for backup, escalate the situation, double down on his authority. But there's something about the way she looks at him, steady, unwavering, that makes him hesitate. He isn't used to this. People usually react with fear or anger, but she's giving him neither. I said step out of the car, he repeats, but this time there's a crack in his voice. The woman lets out a slow breath, then finally moves, deliberate, careful, her hands visible at all times. She pushes the door open and steps onto the pavement, standing tall, composed. Even in the dim streetlights, there's something about her presence that commands attention. A passing car slows down, just for a moment. A man in the driver's seat watches from a distance, his phone angled ever so slightly. Recording? Maybe. Maybe not. But the officer notices. He shifts on his feet, suddenly aware that eyes might be on him. "You're making a mistake," she says, her voice calm but firm. The officer clenches his jaw. He doesn't like the way that sounds, doesn't like the weight of those words. "Turn around," he snaps, reaching for his cuffs again. Then, another voice cuts through the tension. "Officer, what's going on here?" A second patrol car has pulled up. A younger cop steps out, his expression neutral but curious. He looks between them, sensing something off. The first officer stiffens, straightening his shoulders. "Routine stop," he says quickly. She was acting suspicious. The woman doesn't even blink. "Suspicious how?" she asks, directing the question straight at him. The younger cop hesitates. He looks at her, really looks at her, then back at his colleague. His hand hovers near his belt, but he doesn't reach for anything yet. The first officer shifts uncomfortably. For the first time tonight, he feels something creeping in, doubt. He's losing his grip on the situation, and somewhere deep down, he knows he's on the edge of something he can't undo. The air between them feels thick, charged with something unspoken. The first officer shifts his weight, his grip tightening around the cuffs in his hands. The younger cop watches carefully, still trying to piece together what's really happening. The woman standing between them doesn't move. She doesn't need to. Her presence alone speaks louder than words. The flashing lights paint streaks of red and blue across her face, but she remains unreadable. A quiet storm waiting to break. "You still haven't answered my question," she says evenly. "What exactly was suspicious?" The first officer hesitates, just for a fraction of a second, but it's long enough. The younger cop catches it. The doubt, the uncertainty. He takes a small step forward, angling himself between them. "Maybe we should take a minute," he suggests. His tone is careful, neutral, but there's something else beneath it, a warning. The first officer's jaw tightens. He can feel controls slipping through his fingers. He should have run her license by now. Should have confirmed her identity before this went too far. But now, stopping would mean admitting he made a mistake. And that's something he's not ready to do. The woman tilts her head slightly, studying him. She's seen this before. The battle of ego, the refusal to back down even when the truth is staring someone in the face. She knows exactly where this could go. Another car slows down. This time, there's no question. A phone is pointed directly at them. The first officer's pulse quickens. He swallows hard, shifting uncomfortably. This is not how he wanted this to play out. Then, a voice crackles over the radio in his hand. "We got a call about an incident at your location. Everything okay?" For the first time tonight, he doesn't know how to answer. His fingers hover over the button. Every second that passes feels heavier than the last. The woman watches him waiting. The younger cop does too. The world is watching. And now the decision he makes next will change everything. The officer's thumb hovers over the radio, his mind racing. If he answers, he has to explain himself, not just to dispatch, but to everyone now watching. The longer he waits, the worse it looks. His heartbeat pounds in his ears. The woman still hasn't moved. The younger cop shifts again, sensing the weight of the moment. Then, another car pulls up. But this time, it's different. It's sleek, dark, and carries an air of authority. The door swings open, and a man in a crisp suit steps out. His face is serious, his movements precise. He walks with purpose, straight toward them. The officer stiffens. He doesn't know who this man is, but something tells him he's about to find out. The woman, however, remains completely calm, as if she expected this all along. "Senator," the man says smoothly, nodding in her direction. Then his eyes shift to the officer. "Is there a problem here?" The first officer swallows hard. His mind scrambles for an answer, but every option feels wrong. He glances at the younger cop, but there's no help there, only a quiet understanding that things have officially spiraled beyond control. The woman finally speaks. "I was pulled over without cause, and now I'm being detained." Her voice is clear, even, but the weight of her words lands like a hammer. The man in the suit exhales sharply, then looks back at the officer. "Do you realize who you're dealing with?" His tone is laced with something more than frustration, disbelief, maybe even something close to anger. The officer's grip tightens around his cuffs again, but his hands suddenly feel unsteady. He's starting to realize just how deep he's in. The radio crackles again. "Officer, update." The tension is suffocating. The decision he makes next isn't just about this stop anymore. It's about his career, his future. Everything is unraveling, and for the first time, he's the one who feels trapped. The officer swallows hard, his grip tightening around the radio. He knows he has to answer, but the weight of the moment makes it impossible to think clearly. The man in the suit watches him closely, waiting. The younger cop takes a step back, almost as if distancing himself from whatever is about to happen next. Then the senator moves. Not quickly, not aggressively, just a step forward, her posture still composed. But her eyes? They hold something sharp, something unshakable. "You had a choice," she says, her voice measured but firm. "And you made the wrong one." The words hit like a punch to the gut. The officer clenches his jaw, feeling the weight of the cameras, the onlookers, the silent judgment pressing down on him from all sides. He could keep pushing, could double down on everything he's done tonight. But deep down, he knows, this is over. His radio crackles again. "Officer, do you copy?" He exhales sharply, then finally presses the button. His voice is hollow, almost robotic. "Situation under control." The words feel heavy, but they're the only way out. He lets go of the cuffs, stepping back as if distancing himself from the mess he created. The senator doesn't move. She just watches as the man in the suit steps forward. "We'll be following up," he says flatly. No threats, no raised voices, just a simple promise of consequences. Then, just as the officer thinks it's over, the senator pulls something from her pocket, a small notepad. She flips it open, scribbles something down, then looks back up. "Badge number," she asks. The officer hesitates. This was the twist he never saw coming. Not an argument, not a lawsuit, something worse. Accountability. The younger cop clears his throat and mutters, "It's policy." The officer looks at the cameras, the crowd, the senator's steady gaze. And with a deep breath, he gives her the number. The moment feels like the end of something, and the beginning of something else entirely. The officer recites his badge number, his voice quieter than before. The senator writes it down carefully, then tucks the notepad back into her pocket. She doesn't need to say anything else. The message is clear. For a long moment, no one moves. The street feels quieter now, the flashing lights still casting long shadows across the pavement. The younger cop shifts awkwardly, glancing between them, as if he, too, knows this night has taken a turn none of them can undo. The man in the suit nods at the senator before turning toward the first officer. "You should expect a call soon." His tone is calm, almost too calm, and that unsettles the officer more than anything else. Without another word, the senator turns and walks back to her car. She moves with the same quiet confidence she's had all along, unfazed, as if she already knew how this night would end. As she opens the driver's side door, she pauses just for a second, looking back over her shoulder. "Next time," she says, "think before you act." And with that, she gets in and drives away. The first officer doesn't move, doesn't even glance at his partner. His hands are still balled into fists, but now they feel empty. He had all the power at the start of this night. Now he has none. The younger cop finally exhales and mutters, "That could have gone worse." The officer doesn't respond. He just stands there, watching the taillights fade into the distance, knowing that no matter how much he wants to forget this night, he never will. Because this time, he pulled over the wrong person, and this time, the consequences are coming.